In this moment, beloved Father, Mother, God, we give thanks that in this moment we can already see and feel your presence winding down into the room, any room around the world at any time we watch this, later or now. This energy winding down through our crown, unwinding all that is unlike the holiness that we were created to be. This is the Holy Shekinah. This is the Holy Spirit of God. This is also known as the Divine Mother. And she weaves down in and through our being, head to toe, front to back, side to side, inside, outside. Her presence here, her holiness. She speaks to our hearts and our souls and says, "You are all my beloved children in whom I am well pleased." In this moment, Holy Spirit of God, Holy Presence, we give thanks that you call us to dance the dance of oneness, the dance of love, the dance of peace. And in this dance, all that is unlike that holiness just shakes out of our being, just through the intention, two or more gathered for one purpose, the remembrance that we are God's holy children, that we are always to be God's holy children. And we give thanks in advance that we are finally in Mass around the world, in all dimensions, throughout the universe, choosing nothing but the remembrance of our holiness, letting go of all else and dancing with delight that you've created us to be this holiness. And today we choose nothing but this holiness, which is everything. And so it is.
And so it is.
Now please join me in reading our mission statement, which you can find on this white card. Together we say, "The Global Center for Christ Consciousness is a spiritual center for students and masters on the spiritual path. We are dedicated to awakening the inner Christ and to creating a world of love, peace, joy, and abundance." And now for our sacred reading of the day. From Paramahansa Yogananda. Pure reason or wisdom is the father aspect of God. All nature that we behold is the mother aspect of God, because in nature we find beauty, gentleness, and kindness. The flowers, birds, and the beauties of nature all speak of the mother aspect of God, the creative, motherly instinct of God. When we look at all the good things in nature, we feel a tenderness rise within us. We can see and feel God in nature, and so it is.
Off to a great start. Sacred reading, Yogananda, prayer. All this is about putting God first in our lives. And as usual, I ask what you'd like me to share today, what topics are heavy on your heart or dear to your heart and soul.
Laughter. Navigating the hard times.
Holiness.
Making the best of life, no matter what.
The father aspect of God.
The mother aspect of God.
Always the competition.
No competition. Oneness.
That's good. Thank you. Okay. Nice. Okay. We have to wait a moment for the heavens to quit laughing. It's kind of amazing to imagine, that even heaven gathers around during these Sunday sacred services, just because they never know what I'm going to say. You know, they know the words, the concepts, but they go, this guy's a little different. You know, his sense of humor or whatever. You know, and people, you know, for many years they've called me, you know, instead of reverend, they call me the irreverent Michael Mirdad, and in all of that is not to be like rude or gratuitous humor. I don't, you know, I don't think of anything that way. It's because the things human beings are a joke. That's why Dante wrote the Divine Comedy. It's all about the layers of heaven, purgatory, hell, and it's called a comedy. Who would write a book and call that heavy stuff? People are burning and people are this and all these dismembered body in hell. Why did he call it the Divine Comedy? Because it's a joke. And it is kind of funny. Not pain, but that people think that they're so small that everything has power over them. I mean, it is kind of humorous. From a divine place, the Divine Comedy. It doesn't feel funny on earth when people and systems seem to have such power over us, but it is a joke if you really know who you are. There's going to be a point in our lives where laughter takes over from crying and the pain of life. But it sounds simple, just start laughing. To really get it, like Rumi referred to it as derisive, you know, laughter. There's a point where you just go, oh my God, this is, wow. What a strange dream I had where I was a limited being and everybody around, all the angels start laughing too. A limited being, that's kind of fun. I know it was painful at the time. What is pain? I don't know. It doesn't matter. And you just laugh more. And that day will come. But until that day has fully arrived, we can laugh a little, at least, at life and the things we once thought had such power over us. You know, I mean, come on. To think, you know, I can't live if living is without you. You know, like, how could you write a song like that with a straight face? I can't live anymore. Like, how did you read the lyrics to a friend and them not go, dude, that is so cheesy? You know? Like, it's so like, oh my God, pain. Like, you know, just sound like a hound dog just howling at the moon. And is that who you are? Well, of course not. You know, but to write lyrics that say you're not really needed because I'm one with all that is, it just doesn't hit the top of the charts. Anyway, for the people online, some of the words that were brought out, just a few of them. Oneness, Father aspect of God, Mother aspect of God, holiness, and so on. There's several. But, you know, we come to this world, and I've talked about duality before, but we come to this world, and folks think that attachment, but remember, there's three worlds: heaven, Eden, earth. Now, of course, within each of those, you could say there's variables. We're not trying to intellectualize and break it all down like that. But generally, heaven, one, you know, that's the consciousness of God. Eden, which is the consciousness of our soul. Heaven, the upper three chakras, the consciousness of God. Heaven is within you. Where do you look when people pray? Where do they look? To the skies. But there's nothing there. You don't look to the, you know, space and God somewhere. You know, you just kind of, and then every so often shift in case it's over there instead of over there. What are you looking to? It's because inside we know. When you look to the heavens to pray to God, it's here. You're here in your consciousness and you're looking to the heavens within. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Metaphorically, it's in your upper centers. The Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are reflected through our upper three chakras. So I in my heart as a soul, or I in my human self, my lower three chakras, I look to the heavens when I pray. My prayers can be from my human self, lower three chakras, looking to the heavens, or prayers can come from your soul. Either way, you look to the heavens, which are here. And that's not, I'm not saying that your human, your body is the kingdom. I'm saying metaphorically. Nothing can exist without being metaphorically projected or somewhere symbolized in your being, your own being, because nothing is outside of us. So everything that we can find is right here. So those three places, which is God, also known as God, your soul, and your body, your personality. God resides in heaven, your soul resides in Eden, and your human self is on earth. You see what I'm saying? Look how many times we can say the same thing in different ways. 3 sets of chakras, 3 worlds, 3 states of consciousness, and on and on. Okay? So spirit is the source, mind is the builder, which is your heart and your belief systems, and the rest is the result, Edgar Cayce said. All these systems, I don't care, go Course in Miracles or wherever, they all say the same thing, and people just don't get it. They have conversations about how one system's better than another. How can they be better? They're all the same. Well, but I'm a Buddhist. I'm a Course in Miracleite. And you know what? Both of those systems say the same thing. I'm in 12-step program. 12 steps, Buddhist, Course in Miracles. They all say the same thing. More of God, change you, and bring that to others. That's the 3 pieces of all those systems. Oh, I thought I had to memorize this particular mudra, budra, this and that and the other, and the sutras of Buddha. And no. More God, change self, bring the change to others. Which is, if you think about it, taking this all the way to the here and now. Now, the human self, said another way, the human self suffers with attachment. Buddha taught us that. The human self struggles with attachment. And then there's something called detachment, which is a painful process, like the end of a relationship. It's actually only your attachments that cause you pain in your relationships. So what we want to do is learn to be detached. No. That's a trick. Yes, I'm so spiritual, I'm detached from everything. Please don't be detached from brushing your teeth, okay? Please. I'm so detached. Look how holy I am. See, the detaching is still a reaction to attaching. But it is a step in the right direction. But there's a difference between attached, lower chakras, detached, we learn in the heart, non-attachment is of God. Duality is of the human chakras, where we swing into this versus that, father aspect of God, mother. That's still duality in our perception. It's still us. But pros and cons, this and that, all the things of life, duality. And there are people that will say, oh, you're still there. See, they don't realize this picture. They don't get the metaphor. They don't understand. There's 3 steps. So there's people out there preaching detachment. And they look so wise because they taught me my attachments are ruining me. Now I'm detached. But you're not home. Oh, yes, I am because I'm detached. You don't get it. 3. There's 3 steps. You're missing one. So they'll go, duality. Oh, the dual world. Oh, my God. Thank God I'm done with the dual world. Now I'm all, non-duality. Why do you have to call it non? Because you're still talking about duality. You're just non-dual. That's like saying, I used to be an illusion. Now I'm a non-illusionist. You know what I mean? Which is the same as saying, I'm an addict, I'm recovering, and I'm done. See? Now I'm whole. One's a reaction still of the other. The dark night of the soul doesn't mean you're awake. I have my life. Oh my God, now I'm going through the dark night of the soul. You don't go, I used to be all messed up with life. Now everything's stripped away. I'm in complete pain. So this is the end of the journey. That's not the end. There's a 3rd step. So those who talk about duality, those who talk about non-duality, because they're so enlightened, which are some of the most annoying people, because they're so non-dual that they can't stop talking about it. They see you put gum in your mouth. Oh, you still chew gum. You don't understand non-dual. Stop thinking about the gum. There is no gum. No, blah, 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 blah. And back to the Tao. Those who keep talking don't know. That doesn't mean when you speak, you always don't know. It's the more you speak. Somebody was telling me this week, they saw, heard or something on news. I don't know where they saw it, news or whatever, that some fundamental Christians went into some church where there is a a speaker, a minister or something that was male but is wearing female outer life, right? And they're just like, you're going to hell and on and on. And listen, if I walked into that church, into that center while they were doing this, first I would go up and kiss the minister, the one, dressed as a woman. Being all shamed, that's the first thing I would have done, just to freak out the fundamental Christians, What, oh, there they go, just to mess with them, right? But that's the dualistic me. I would have done such a thing to make a point. And I'm telling you with all honesty, in that moment, the person that's dressing a certain way and saying, but this is who I am, leave me alone. And the other, oh, you're going to hell. Listen, one of them was coming from love and one of them was not. The one shouting, shaming, out of control, they're losing souls. Even though they're telling you by dressing in a different attire than their approval, you're going to hell. That's what they're saying. I really admire anybody that can just stay out of that. My heart goes out to those who are being shamed. I don't dig that at all. So those who get shamed, have been shamed for their sexual preference, or getting a divorce that was against their family's principles, or changing religion that was against their family. Anybody that starts following their heart, I'm all with you, man. And I'm sorry that the world doesn't always get it. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. Everybody will eventually get it. But those people screaming the loudest, it confirms they don't know. Okay? It's confirming the intensity, the shaming, and it's a reactionary self. And it means deep down, you're doing something that intrigues me, the dressing differently, and I don't understand it, so I'm mad, so I'm yelling. But I'm really yelling because I don't get it. You see? That's why they're yelling. The Christian shaming the Buddhist, it's because they don't understand what the Buddhist is saying or doing. Why do you have so much peace? Knock it off. And they respond, namaste. Oh, now I'm really mad. It's just craziness of this world. And again, this too shall pass. So the people talking, the non-dual, there's a point where duality goes non-dual and then oneness. And the oneness is so mind-boggling and awe-inspiring, you don't find as many words about it. You don't say to people, you don't get oneness, do you? You're dual. You're still dual. How could you be in oneness and see my duality? You just had an eye transplant from 2 to 1. Oneness, you wouldn't go, oneness, and you're still dual. It doesn't make sense. So you don't talk as much when you access the oneness. Now, some of these people are going to say, yes, I used to be dual, but now I'm non-dual. Even if you say, but there's something more. There's oneness. Oh, I'm that. Yeah, that's me. I'm oneness. The more they start talking about it, that you already know they're not there, which is okay. It's okay. But just smile. The more they try to convert to a religion, somebody to a religion, the more they, talk, all it is philosophical. Oh, oneness is the one without the dual within the oneness of the one. On Tuesdays, but not Fridays. It's just talk, and they wow people. There's people sitting around going, oh, I didn't understand a word of that, but it had to be amazing. Wow, that's so abstract, it has to be amazing. They do. They bring flowers to the feet of these teachers, and it's just kind of funny. But at the same time, we learn to recognize this is a spaciousness. You recognize, most of the people watching a program like this, I would say, have lived part of their life in the dualism of the world, the ups and downs, lefts and rights and wrongs and all that stuff. Watching a program like this almost implies you're already making a major shift towards non-dual thinking without thinking. You may not realize that. You kind of start dropping judgments. You kind of opinions. You just kind of, what's the point of an opinion? None of them are ever correct. They always change. So why even have them? That's shifting into non-dual thinking. Non-dual. I don't know. Somebody's yelling at some cross-dressing minister. You're like, what? Why? Come here, let me hug you, I'll hug you too, the screaming person. No, don't you, because you'll send me to hell if you hug me, because touching me is, and they freak out. I'm sorry, I'm sorry that you feel that way. You're all going to hell. Yes, and you're already there. Like, just plant it, man. Plant your feet, Let them trip out on all their words and judgments. I'm so at peace that, I could say to the one that's being shamed, would you mind if I kneel on the floor and kiss your feet? Would you mind? I mean, not because I'm saying that's literally what you have to do. It's the principle to say, brother, sister, whomever, I'm sorry that these people take time to shame you. What a waste of their time. They said, I'm going to hell. I know, and they're already there. And this too shall pass. You continue dressing the way you feel like you want to dress. And peace to you. I had a person that was, they call it cross-dressing at the time. And, he came for a session. It was a guy, and he's like, Michael, and he's like, yeah, Michael, male, very male, talking, yeah, man, and life and this and that and the other. Then he's like, oh, music. He's a musician, and he's into a certain band. And I'm like, oh, you know them? Wow. And then I sent him, without him knowing, a signed picture from a member of the band. I asked the guy, I said, could you, do this, And I've done things like that. This is the Father in us. The Father in us is being shamed in this world. That's why it seems like people are out of control. It seems like there's lawlessness. Because the Father has been shamed so much by evil people, meaning ego-based people, that nobody knows where to turn anymore for protection, for backbone, boundary setting. See? And they're doing it for a reason. Because if they can make you feel hopelessness enough, you've lost God, which is the source of all hope. See, there's a consciousness behind this. This isn't just politics or whatever like you think. There's not one side of politics that's right. That's dualistic thinking. And the other is wrong. Trust me, man. No, it's not like that. You get beyond the dual and you get to the non-dual and you go, this is a game in the consciousness of mankind. You'll see it. Now you're in non-dual. When you get to peace, no matter what you see, you're in the oneness. In the non-dual, you'll still be tempted to talk about, yeah, but it's an illusion. Yeah, but both sides, you'll still talk about the stuff. See? Even though you're not as attached to the duality of it, you're getting it. And that's another way to look at it. It's like, I was an addict, now I'm getting it, I'm in recovery. Right on. Now you've got the scaffolding and the things bracing you up. And there's a point where they take away the bracing and you're standing on your own, one with God. So, I've done this before. Be the father and mother to God. The mother of God. Be the presence of the divine mother and the divine father. Not one or the other. Yeah, but I'm a female. How can I be? That's dualistic thinking. If I'm a male, I can only do this. If I'm a female, who says? Mastery. Be all that is needed in any given moment. I remember touring one place, and this actually happened twice within a couple of months. There was a team that went to the Super Bowl, a football team. And this one place that I toured, there was this guy, and he's like, oh, I'm a total fan of this team, and oh my God, it was just everything. And he had this one player, he was just like, oh my God, and it was just kind of cool. He was a big fan. At the same time, there was, around the same year, there was a gal that I met, a receptionist at a dentist office. And they were like, oh my God, they're going to the Super Bowl. I'm so excited. Whatever, right, great. So the next time I was in town, or the next time I saw these people, there's the one guy, I said, hey, I was doing a talk like this, Hey, by the way, can I do a quick exercise with you? And this guy's going, what? So I said, yeah, let's play catch. And I threw him the football, and he threw it back, and he's kind of like, well, this is weird. You know, you think for you, I'm playing catch while I'm doing a talk. So we're doing it, you know, catching football back and forth, and then I threw it back to him up maybe 4 times. I said, read it. And his favorite player in life had said to so-and-so, love so-and-so. I mean, oh my God, it was like, this is a big one, Elizabeth. I mean, this guy, you know, I'm coming to join you, honey. He was just so like, you've got to be kidding me. And I did the same thing with the receptionist. The whole team, you know, signed it. She's like, what? You know, screaming in a dentist's office isn't the best thing, by the way. You know, the dentist is like, oh my God, what happened? You know, but that's daddy, the healthy daddy bringing the kids gifts when he went on a trip. You see, that's the Father of God coming through us. When Jesus said, honor your father and mother, he was not talking about your parents. I swear to you, he wasn't. Well, that's not what my parents said. Of course not, because they're invested. They're invested in abusing you and saying, you're supposed to honor me, and go, well, that was great, Mom, thanks. More narcissism, please. You know, how could Jesus have said, honor your mommy and daddy, and say to you, blood is worthless? It's the spirit behind things that matters, not the blood, not the bloodline, not the human stuff. Those who do the will of God are my family, as he says, right? So he couldn't have been emphasizing the value of your dad and mom. What he is saying, however, is honor the honorable parts of every human being. Honor the honorable father parts. And if your dad didn't have any, don't honor them. Not because I'm saying dishonor him. I didn't say that. That's dualistic. You're still swinging there. It's, if it's there, honor it. If it's not, if it's abuses and hurt, then no. Don't fan that into a flame. See through it and walk away. I'm not joining the family reunions anymore. Why? Guess. Do you want me to send you all emails? You know, and copy all of y'all and share why I'm not? No, we'd rather you keep it quiet. Exactly. Honor the honorable parts of people. He was also saying, however, as we find in lost books of the Bible, he said, honor your father and mother. Your father sky, your mother earth. The father, heavenly father, meaning the cosmos, and the earthly mother. See, the father aspect of God can't not be here because we're in God. It's got to be here somewhere. But the father aspect of God is really remote seeming to us. It's the part that we tried to run away from in our shame for thinking we could separate from God. The mother aspect more vividly joined us in this excursion, never believing in it, but joining us in it. So the Father is the Father God, the Father heavens, and also the Father in us. The mother aspect is the cosmic, the divine mother, and then the universal mother. But in a sense, we call her Gaia or Earth. And then the human mother. There's again 3. The divine aspect, the cosmic aspect, and the human aspect of God or, of God Mother or God Father. So you and I are made in God's image, which means you're supposed to be portraying healthy versions of the Father God or Mother God. Is that making sense? And everybody's done it. Even cruel people somewhere in their life had a moment where they thought beyond themselves and leaked out some piece of the mother or father. Obviously, not likely knowing they did it. But everybody, you can't not because it's in us. There are stories abound, in nature where a predator animal, I remember one story, but a predator animal found somebody drowning or dying and grabs them and pulls them to safety. I've seen video many years ago of a dog that was hit on the freeway and laying on the freeway, and another dog ran out and dragged it out of traffic. Something in all there's God in all beings. It's just not always seen and let live to live. for me, all the years of touring and doing the healing work, I used to more, this is interesting because I used to more often feel like I loved playing the role of a safe male because so many people have experienced unsafe male, and the female too, through me. But it was always kind of cool to see that people have such fear of the Father God and Daddy on earth as well, that you and I have a role to play, guys. You're not just a sponsor in 12 steps. You're not just a counselor. You're not just a mom or a dad taking your kids to school. You are as God created you, and really what's happening is, how much of that are you letting through? Stories of, a certain actor that was pulled over to give somebody a ride, and he was arrested for seemingly involving with a prostitute. And this is what the world tries to do. Shame every part of you when you're trying to be the presence of God. Shoot it down so nobody knows how to do anything for each other. If a doctor takes your hand and says it'll be okay, oh, wait, not allowed to touch. And yet that's unforgettable to some people, that the way he took my hand and looked in my eyes and said, you're going to be fine. It meant everything, but that's not allowed. One of you that attends here was fired from your counseling job because you hugged a client when they were leaving and their life had been so dramatically changed from your work. See, that's what the world, based on the ego version of the world, is trying to do. Make everything hopeless. Make God unattainable. And in my work, I used to maneuver through the audience, do spontaneous healings, miraculous things. When I came to Sedona, that changed. Even though it looks like my work expanded in some ways, because we've gone online and done things with the world changing and technology, in some ways it restricted. It constricted. I stopped doing this kind of thing. And there's reasons, but some of them are because people started showing up for the sideshow. The curiosity. And the cynics were showing up to go, this can't be real. Well, I'm not here to play a game with you, so I just stopped doing it. But in a way, in a certain way, that means the father aspect of me had to get shut down. In a way. Not allowed to be the safe male, you see. And this is like going back 10 years. There was a person I was demonstrating in a workshop, the human aura. And I was going, and the aura's like here, and I had them stand there. And I was explaining the aura wraps around, the body and so on. It comes out a few inches or whatever. And there was one gal in the audience that complained later. His hands got suspiciously close to her chest. Oh my God, we heard about this for months. Seriously, months. Oh my God. It went on, and then that person went to the gal who was standing there. Do you realize his hands got close? You should be feeling bad. You should say something to him. And just all this shame, and I'm like, wow. Never did it again. Never did as much of that again. Not because I'm letting them shut me down. I'm choosing to say, okay, if this area, this small town can't handle this, I'll not do it. So there's some practicality to my decision. I'm not a victim of this. I could have just kept doing it. I made a decision, but what I'm saying is you and I have to decide what we're doing. Make sure you're conscious of doing it. Don't let the world make you do it. Are you conscious of the times you stopped being a dad or a mom to people, a light worker to people, a healer to people? Well, I had to stop hugging my clients. That's fine. Are you okay with that? Check inside. If you're betraying yourself, that's not good. I stopped, teaching certain kinds of workshops because it was just too, freaky for some people. Intimacy, relationship, sexuality, what are those kinds of things. And it's not a problem. You know what I say? I wrote it in books. Read them. I don't have to do workshops. Read the books. It's there. For the most part, it's there. Check it out. I don't have a problem with, people now can't heal because I'm not out there. No. It's more like, God, you got it. Yeah, got it. Okay, good. Get somebody else to, hug and kiss people and say, welcome and the babies. Oh, he kissed somebody's baby. You know, that's got to be weird. You must want donations from that family, you know. Oh my God, this world, people, you know. When I work with celebrities and billionaires, you know what? When they say, how much do I owe you? Well, here's how it goes. I'm not going to charge you. Well, I charge people who barely have $100. Why aren't you charging billionaires? Because that's all they get, is everybody wanting their money. I'm making a statement. Keep your $100. But if this changes your life, own it. You see? It's more about, for me, it's about what statement you're making in life. You're not here to just hang out. What are you being an example of? And having people have so many triggers. It's what a weird thing. What a shame, you know. Like, so I was always like, no, I'm not going to say no to things that people are asking because I'm not going to shame things. You know, you get porn stars, the sessions, and I'm helping these people and strippers and whatever, and escorts and whatever. I never told one of them that what they did was wrong or evil or bad. Never even told them it was self-abuse. What I did was listen, help them look at the roots of why they went in the direction they went. Not a good or bad, just, and what brought you there. And more often than not, pain. When we talked about the pain and I held them lovingly, compassionately, unconditionally, the pain moves through, they changed their careers, and I'm not kidding. Probably 4 out of 5. But I never told any of them to change that. Being shamed is not the best way, as I shared that story about the minister, this Christian person shaming this minister for not dressing the way they thought they should dress. Shaming people doesn't bring them home. It doesn't introduce them to God. The scared straight concept has been proven to be short-term change. Love inspires forever. And I know that my listening to people, my being a father to people, meaning, you know, symbolically, or a mother to people. And I know that it was freaky for some people. When you're, you know, this is funny. One time I went to all the churches, you know, they all have, you know, guests at times. And I remember I went to one particular church. One church hired me to speak, and then they contacted me, and they needed me to confirm that I wasn't gay if I was going to speak at their church. You know, and I'm like, hold on, I got to shut off my Elton John music. You know, I'm sorry, what was that? You know, I mean, I'm not going to put up with this. It's ridiculous. And then one of them, it was a California, you think kind of progressive California. No. Went to this California church, and they had contracts for any speakers. And it was, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to, there's things you can't do. But one of them, no suggestive whistling. I'm like, was this written in 1910? Like when people were like, you know, like I'm going to be doing a Sunday service and go, woo, baby. Like what are, like, back to the Stone Age, man. It was so bizarre. What's that? How could it have happened? How could you have taken that serious, even if it did happen? Well, Michael, see, the problem is we had this one guy, and he was in the middle of a talk, and first of all, how old was he? Who does suggestive whistling? I mean, you know what I mean? It's just, how could that have happened and you guys didn't think it was funny? At least put no suggestive whistling, LOL. I mean, at least something to kind of, you've got to be kidding me. And that's not me, man. I'm not going to suggest, what does that mean? But I am going to tell you what I feel. Wow, you're glowing today. Uh-oh. See? Is that what's in your mind? So it's a very challenging thing on planet Earth to know the truth but respect the illusion. Respect where you're at and the vibes. When in Rome, do as the Romans do, as the old saying goes. So yes, I understand that. Respect where you're at. But how beautiful it is to tell people, you look beautiful today, and it not have some weird hook in it. It's where the term hooker comes from. Because in the deals, there was always a hook. You know, you're on the streets, and I'm not saying this in a derogatory way. I'm saying agendas are called hooks, which means any human being with an agenda is a hooker. Because you're trying to hook someone on something. Stop having agendas. Can I just say, you look beautiful? Can I say, can I touch your tummy because you have a baby? And, you know, are we allowed to do, oh, no. Oh, my God. Her tummy. That's an erogenous zone I didn't know about. Can I? No suggestive whistling and no touching pregnant moms' tummies. Like, come on, you know. Human beings, it's so strange. But I'm telling you, there's a secret agenda behind it. Shame everything. Bring shame to everything. And Jesus himself greeted others often by a kiss and hug and warmth. And it's also a Middle Eastern custom, even for males to kiss each other. Would that have gone over at my high school? You know, hey, Frank, Jake, that was a great catch, man, in the game. Mwah. I love you. Oh, my God. It wouldn't have gone over, but why? I'm from a custom, from a culture that's okay. So now let's shame him because we don't want anybody touching anybody. We don't want anybody connecting with anybody. And then you think later, yeah, my parents kind of shamed. Yes, and you're doing it too. Stop perpetuating these patterns, you know, that are so strange and so dark ages. There's a great, one of the few things, statements, proverbs, that you'll find in the sutras of Buddha, Taoism, Jesus. One of the most consistent things, it's in the Bible, but it's also in the tantras of Buddha, which are sacred writings. And it is, to the pure in heart, all things are pure, and to the wicked, all things are wicked. What do you think that means, right? To the pure in heart, that's not what I'm seeing. That's not what I was doing. I remember a large gentleman at this one church. When I went on tours, often my sessions would be done in a meeting room or a minister's office or something. And I remember I went into this one room and I'm doing a session. And this very large gentleman broke down about him coming out to his family, and he was gay, and it just ruined his life. And I did with him what I did often with people. I sat him in my lap on the ground and held him like this. You know, he's sitting cradled position and I'm holding him. It was so beautiful. And I sat there just in love that this giant man could let me hold him like this, and then wailing, crying, all the shaming, because I'm being dad. You understand? I'm being dad. And he subconsciously knows that. So what's going on? Why is this guy, oh, Dad, and you love me this time? See, that's what's happening in deep healing. And you're holding, you know, and, and then with the humor of the heavens, the minister walks in. Hi. What do you do? Pretend, you know? Toss him behind a chair, you know? He wasn't going anywhere. He wasn't going anywhere. And what do you do with that? You get used to saying, what am I doing and why? And this is okay. And if the minister had some trip about it, oh well, if you want a session too, come here. I'll hold you too, you know. Every one of us has to ask how far we can go in what we do with others. How much money should I give or lend or whatever you do? How much of a hug? How long should the hug last? I don't want to stand around and analyze everything. I don't want to go 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5. Okay, because there's a book that says, you know, comes from the government, 3-second hugs are okay. A-frame hugs. You know, the A-frame hug. You know. There's a rule. Somebody's got a rule book. No suggestive whistling, and hugs must not exceed 3 seconds. Genitalia must be 3 feet apart from each other. You know, is that really affection? Those are rules. And I'm not interested, therefore don't hug me. And that's what we all do. Block, 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 block. Back to Eden. You know, back to Eden. And I'm not saying that there aren't some creepy people that you pick up and you go, I don't want to. Then don't. Here's what you do. It's very simple. They come up to hug and you do this. That's all. You just get your hands in between you. Nice to see you. They usually get the hint. If not, then it's, you know, and if not, boom! And when they walk away going, I was just going to hug you. Yeah, but you didn't honor my boundaries. Anyway. We're one, but we appear to be two. So, while we're still struggling with this, I respect the illusion. And if your boundaries, and I'm serious about this, all the laughter aside, if you're needing this only, honor that. You'll never get to this if you don't honor this. If you keep violating this or let others violate this, you're broken. You're being damaged, and you don't need that. Well, I didn't want to stay, you know, distance. No. You do this for now, and then you'll find this one day, maybe once only for a year. Then next year, because you were never violated again, it's twice the next year. The point is, it's not the numbering, it's the consciousness around it. I've learned that I can hug now, and it's okay. You know, Jesus greeted often with a kiss, and I think it's the most beautiful thing for people to share affection like that. To me, what's in my mind is the trust involved. I like the idea, even though I, for years, have backed off from some of that. I'm not going to keep backed off on that anymore. I'm coming out. No, I appreciate. Hey, I appreciate that some of you have been my mirror, that have said it's okay and hugged me or kissed me instead of, you know. I'm not saying, you know, I'm asking, I don't want anybody, you know, trying to make out with me. I'm just saying that I love that some of you have chosen to stay in your center and feel safe enough to have a hug or a kiss. You know, we've joked, like John sometimes playing music here, and I've given him a kiss occasionally, and you know, it's love. I mean, it's like saying, you know, when the love, my cup runneth over, when the rose opens, there's a fragrance. When love is there, there's nothing wrong with its fragrance. I feel so high, I want to hug somebody. It's how it feels. When kids are excited, look what they do. They show the excitement. There's nothing like inappropriate. They're just excited. I remember, I shared, I think, recently, but one time when I was buying, I think it was my first house, and I had to choose between a couple of places. I didn't even look at the house. This one. Well, I haven't shown you. I know it's this one. Why? Because there's a schoolyard across the way, and I want to hear kids playing at recess. I want to, you know, like how there's a certain sound, right? Isn't right? There's a certain sound, and the laughter. It's called not being in class, first of all. But there's a sound of laughter and playfulness, and I said, I'd love that. So that was what was behind my choice. I wasn't like, let's check the foundation. You know, I'm like, kids' laughter, I'm good, I'll take it. Which is kind of typical of my strangeness, you know, my strange things behind decision making. But it's God, laughter. Lyrics of a song, laughter kissing love is showing me the way. Laughter kissing love. How cool is that? It's love loves love. It's peace, it's joy. It's like, come on, let's get back. Somebody's playing music and you just start to respond. You feel it. The song today for the people online was Sing a Song by Earth, Wind, and Fire. What a great tune. Like, but what's it saying? When you feel down and out, sing a song. It's going to make a better day. It's going to make a better way. Sing a song. And that's true. All the way back to King David. Great individual. Singing praise, psalms. Life was terrible at times. And he was saying, even though life is terrible, I know you're with me. I know you're preparing a feast for me at the end of this experience called the light at the end of the tunnel. Right? Sing a song. Come out. Find a way to feel something that doesn't appear to be there. Hug when you can. Laugh when you can. Hold somebody who hasn't been held before. And there are people that haven't been held before, or at least in many years. And they feel alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. I know that. Well, but nobody's ever hugged me. I don't care. You know, there's people that have gone into leper colonies. That's amazing. You need help. I'm coming in. Oh, no, but I don't care. Because if I die tomorrow, I'm already in heaven. Because I put aside your condition and brought love into the experience. And nobody, you know, I didn't date a lot. Nobody loves me. I wasn't cute enough in school or whatever, you know. Come here. Let me hug you and kiss you. You look great. Give them hope. That's the father. Bring them something. The mother holds them and nurtures them. The father needs to step up and do something. You see? And I am the father, the mother, each of us. I am. To be that presence. I'll close with this, you know, just some of you have seen this video. It was recorded for a film motion picture that was being created, a documentary on healing trauma related to people's human sexuality. And the short version of the story is they're interviewing, it was all couples, but porn star couples. And, you know, can their relationships be understood? It was a kind of psychological experience. And so they're telling me, okay, Michael, we've paired you up. You're going to work with this couple, somebody else. So each teacher, counselor was going to take a different couple through the week. I got there. This stuff was so intense. The first couple, when I got there a day early, the producers and directors, they said, Michael, we have a problem. The first couple had such deep stuff that the counselor, the professional, had a meltdown and they won't come out of the room and they've gone nuts. Like, they lost their mind. They're like in a panic attack. I'll go. I went in there, worked with the counselor, got her prepped. She's like, okay, I can do it. I said, great. Give me 5 minutes with the couple who are now traumatized because you were traumatized by their traumas. Not kidding. Went out 5 minutes, maybe 10 or so, with the couple. Did some points on the body of particularly it was the guy, and did some points. They're ready. And the people doing the film, they're like, what do you mean they're ready? What? Shh, just go. So they did it. My day was the next day. And I'm not kidding. It was maybe 5 minutes. Those of you who have seen the movie, you can verify. Was it within 5 minutes? We're talking. So what got you into this industry? You know, and what are your goals? You know, do you want to do this for 5 years? You know, you talk and nice to meet you. 5 minutes or so. Then the guidance, you know, here comes the father. And in some ways the mother, in this case. What got you into this to the guy who, a big dude, muscular dude. At the risk of him snapping me in half, I said, what got you into this? And he started sharing, well, I was abused as a child. From who and what happened? And just minutes of that. And I could see what's happening. And I told him, take my fist and crush it. Squeeze it as hard as you can and let out all your thoughts and feelings about who did that to you. And this dude, you know, and people are like, 911, you know, to each other, like, we need a hand cast. And we, you know, they're all preparing. And I'm like, squeeze as hard as you can, shake it, and this guy, and he starts just going altered state on me, you know, just, rage and boom, and the tears, deep, deep tears, wailing tears, man. Oh my God. And then comes the guidance. Are you sure? Yes, my beloved child in whom I am well pleased. Okay, I'm going in. So I went and sat next to this giant dude, and I took him and I put his head on my shoulder and held him, and he just went another level of grieving all of this. I mean, it's very moving to see the footage of this, and it's just, you know, and tears and all this is coming out of his face and out of his soul, and, you know, how beautiful. Now, if I stayed back with a notepad, would I have gotten it? No. So I'm not going to do things the way other people do them. I do what's needed in the moment. That's God in you. Doing things that don't seem like, you know, standard, because this world's standard is off. It's no to everything, shut everything down, shame everything. I get that there's reasons for that. I get that there are people that are inappropriate at times. I get that. I mean, even some healing remedies out there, I understand that some of them are scams. That doesn't mean that the government should create a system that shuts down every alternative means of healing that isn't theirs. So it's an interesting thing. Know the truth, but respect the illusion. If I would have held that guy and he would have said, hey, what the heck? I'm responsible for my decision. And I've probably once every 10 years could say that I went and did something that they didn't, it wasn't right for them, it wasn't comfortable, or whatever, right? It happens. But for the other 999 in that every 10 years, it was worth it. So whatever it is you do, are you open to God? Are you open to guidance and being the presence as best you can? You're not just a chiropractor. You're not just a massage therapist. I've noticed massage therapists whose client died on the table. Should they stop doing massage? Oh, you know, because massage kills her. So you're gonna see some AMA program. Massage is deadly. You kill thousands every day. Stop talking. You know, you come up with one massage that brought about a death. The person was dying anyway. It just happened. A chiropractic adjustment. A hug. You know, where are you going to stop? So those who say don't do anything, I'm telling you, there's a message behind it. No God, no love, no trust. So try to come out. Do your best every day, come out. Not only to let people hug, say hello, greet, but also it's what you're bringing to others. Recognize the value of what you're bringing. Know your boundaries. If you don't, they won't, and you'll find yourself confused. But know your boundaries, but what did you bring somebody today? Okay? Unexpected tip for a waitress, waiter, whatever they call them, servers, you know, something. What did you do today to lift somebody's, you know, life? Some flight attendant is getting harassed on a plane. You know, what can I do to make a difference? Just fight with the other person? Lighten things up. You know, what are you guided to do? Right? You just never know. It's amazing. When God moves through you, you might start humming a song. I mean, in a tense line, the DMV, that's a good place to practice this. You're at the DMV, because most DMVs are kind of, people have a problem with lines and stuff. So you're there, and, you know, at the post office, I used to do this. I'd go in the post office, you know, and there would be people in line. And it's so predictable. The guys are trying to, can I buy 3 of these stamps, 1 of those, and 15 of those? No, 14. No, wait, 12. No, get 8, because my daughter was born on the 8th month. And their guys just trying, and the people in line, there's this sound. That's my cue. That's my cue. And then they see Michael in line. They're like, oh, God. This is the post office guys. And I'm like, you know, and I'm starting to, people in line are thinking, I'm just more frustrated than there. The guys are like, they just know it's me. And it'll be like, sir, how much longer is it going to be? Well, we're trying to finish this. And, you know, this on and on and on. And they more and more. And I say, haven't you heard you're not supposed to upset postal workers? Yeah, I did. I did it. I said it. And I would stand in line doing things like this to the guys, and they would just kind of, don't make eye contact with Michael. Because they know, you know. They would be back there filing the stuff in the P.O. boxes, right? Right? Out comes my arm. You know, just with hand gestures, like, And then one time he grabs my hand and he's pulling, I'm going to get him. You made him laugh. Made him laugh. I'll never forget those guys. They went from just victims of this crappy behavior of people, impatience and so on. Some people would say, well, don't you get impatient? Yeah, but if everybody else is, that role's been taken. A light worker is looking for, how can I make a difference? Not how can I just blend in with the problem. That's all I'm going to say. Please take a few centering breaths. Did we laugh even once today? Was there even one moment of aha? Sit with it for a moment. Do you know that there are millions of people today, billions, who are either going to watch the news or hear something about the news, and they're not having an insight, an aha, nor laughter. That's amazing. I chose to be in a room space experience where I had ahas and laughter in a world that's trying to shut down aha and laughter. Seriously, like, wow. And then add to that, I guess this means my life is changing. I'm not claiming to be better than anyone else, but I am grateful that my life is changing. I might have had tears today, laughter today, ahas, but there was healing. There were insights, there's growth. I am changing. Clearly rising from the dualistic world of pain and suffering and fighting to the non-dualistic. Seeing through all the games. To be dualistic means I have prejudices and opinions, for example. Non-dual means I accept everyone's race, color, preferences, right? I accept, no, but that's still as though they're all separate. I accept them. There's one more step. There is no such thing. Father, Mother, God, I thought I was at my best because I was pulling away from being judgmental, sexist, racist, etc. I'm glad I'm in that place now. I'm better. But there's one more. Wait. Where I don't even see differences that I need to accept. This is the peace of God. I can't get there on my own. Of myself, I am nothing. There's not a book or a person that navigates me into a state of peace, oneness. It is only you, Divine Mother, that can birth this feeling in me. Oneness, peace. This is what Jesus meant by, let my grace and my peace be enough for you, because it's everything. You think you want understanding. You think understanding is going to lead you to peace. You think you want knowledge. You think knowledge is going to lead you to being God. No, I know nothing. I only needed to do my part, which was stop the judgmental dualistic thinking, step into a clearer willingness to be unconditionally loving to everyone. Now let go and let God. The final piece is in your hands. Holy Spirit of God. And for the next minute, no thoughts. Let her just download all that you're ready to receive today in the context of peace, grace, oneness, holiness, presence descending into the room and descending through your head, crown, into your being, into your heart. The peace I attain is the peace gifted by our Father, Mother, God. We've always been deserving, but we thought we had other things to do. Place a hand or two over your heart, in your mind if not physically doing it. And just imagine the light of God has poured through your crown into your heart center. Your heart is flooding with that peace, with that love. Just feel that. And then look at your day-to-day decision making and imagine coming from this place in your heart where the light of God is shining and filling you with grace, peace, oneness. How would you now make the decisions you're making this week? Just ask to make the decisions that are the most congruent with this feeling. Nothing rash. We don't jump to it. We just have insight now. How I might handle that conversation differently. Another half minute to a minute. Just what if there is a God? What if it does answer prayers? What if you did pray and therefore here it comes, the presence of God. Extend our deepest thanks. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for guiding us in a way that we are creating such perfect container, such perfect space to step into the remembrance of who we are, all that we deserve. The peace I am, says the divine in us, I extend to you, everyone. And so it is. How's it feel? Good. Gentlemen, please. The Father through us. Gently, softly. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy love. Again. Louder, just a little. There you go. You are holding space. You are anchoring a foundation so women can come out and say, love, 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 love. The gospel in one word is love. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Love, holy love. Again. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy love. Again, everyone. The fathers in the world, do you recognize what happens when you create a sacred, safe space, container for children to come out and play, for the female to sing her song? This is not about gender, because we're both. We're all. But what an honor. I mean, honestly, what an honor to hold that space for these souls to come out. For any time I, the male in us, in any of us, males and females, any time that I would have ever created through thought, word, or deed an unsafe feeling, I'm sorry. I knew not who I was, who you were. Thank you for forgiving me as I now forgive myself. I love you from the God in me to you. And thank you. And it makes room for more of the Father to come through us. And any time a male energy in a man or a woman was somehow hurtful, selfish, or whatever it may have been, that's their thing. That's where they were coming from. They knew not who they were. Today, I am that I am in the presence and safety of God. I am okay now. I am at peace. Nothing can be done to me because nothing but divine exists. And that I am a daughter of heaven, a child of God. And so it is. Thank you. Take a minute to stretch and integrate. Yes. In a moment, we'll do our love offering. Please just be as generous as you can be. The love offerings go in the blue bags. The baskets are for any extra donations someone can share, just whatever you can. It's appreciated. It's used for people of special needs or special projects that we do. This week, we're painting most of the rooms, interior of the rooms, which means that we'll have a specially high Sunday next Sunday. No. But we are painting, and if you have the funds and the means, please, extra donations would be appreciated to help pay for that. If we don't get the extra funds, we'll only paint part of the walls. Anyway, kidding. So hold your love offering to your heart, full conviction, full love, appreciation, knowing that as you give, you receive. It's law. It's posted online for the people watching online as well. Together, please. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Thank you. Can anyone share what they learned or heard today? We'll do our closing prayer in just a couple minutes. Yes?
Know the truth and respect the illusion.
Know the truth, but respect the illusion. That's right. Yes?
Not just here to hang out.
We're not just here to hang out, that's for sure. Yes.
It's only three basic things. More God, change you, take it to
Yeah, I'm serious about that. Buddhism, 12 steps, Course in Miracles, and all these things. They all are saying three things. They just divide it into their particular style. More of God, it changes you, bring the change to others, which means you're bringing God to others. Yes, dear? Dropping the inhibitions. Remember, we create the safe container with each other. Give people permission to expand the container, right? To come out more. But also, you come out more. In the behind, yes? Yes.
Bring love into every experience of the road.
Bring love into every experience. Right. Right. Yes. Very funny. I'm totally offended. She whistled suggestively at me. Yes.
You know, I was raised Mormon, and so, like, the idea that you even walked into a church with your shoulders exposed,
Oh, yeah.
or the A-frame hugs, or a Book of Mormon splits apart. And so, branching into now my life post that, and recognizing how important it is to be able to express the love unconditionally to people.
Right.
And no longer have those inhibitions.
Right.
Or those preconceived notions
Right.
that it's not okay to hug a person.
Right. Having been brought up.
First time people hugging me like that, I go, whoa.
Yeah, see?
This is something I wasn't used to, because it
Right.
was like something I'm realizing about how beautiful it is that you walk into those realms
Right.
of that unconditional love. And
Yeah.
you're right, there's still creepy people.
Yep. So even in the New Thought churches, we're made fun of. We're called huggers.
Yeah.
Oh, those hugger churches. Why did you have to name it that? Because you have hang-ups. Those people that are like hugger. And so now, after the pandemic, even the huggers have stopped hugging. It's a reason. I'm telling you, there's an agenda energetically. Stop all forms of love and trust. We were here. We were here, and, we didn't stop meeting. And I'm not saying you should have still been attending during COVID or whatever they call it, But it's like still, hugging. Nostradamus is not remembered for the physician he was. He's remembered for his prophecies. But he was a physician during the Black Plague. And he walked into homes where people were dying of the plague, didn't care if he was going to get it. And he's the one who actually struck forth a remedy that started healing people. But he's not remembered because of his other gifts. He's not remembered for being a physician who walked into the trenches and for igniting a cure. Start burning these things. Start getting all the old cloths, which also means the past. The past makes you sick. It's a metaphor. And he also said one of the remedies was roses. The fragrance, the remedy, the scent, the actual essence of roses. Hence the song Ring Around the Rosie, made up during the time of the plague. We ashes, we all fall down. They're all dead because everybody was dying, but roses because roses are the highest frequency flower, not plant, or herb, flower. Plant, Palma Christi, castor oil, which is the name Palm of Christ because it's so powerful. But that's another conversation. Who else had their hand up? Yes.
I was going to say, what you were saying about children is so true. I've spent my lifetime entertaining with magic shows for kids, and the energy that you get from them
right.
is just something so special, and I live off that.
Right. The awe that a child has in a magic show, the awe a child has when Christmas morning, or, that awe, it's not the Christmas, it's the feeling to ignite that in people again. It would ban the Black Plague. It would cure, if people could be who they really are and laugh and come out. Laughter actually has been proven to be a cure for major illnesses. Come on. Why aren't we doing more? Who else had, yes?
God is the source of all hope.
God is the source of all hope. How could it not be, since it is a knowingness of who we are? For a while we lose hope, because there's three of everything. We lose hope, we start to gain hope, and we become the answer itself, one with God. Please stand for our closing. Before you folks leave, stand if you would. Just a couple of quick announcements. One, if you're in the area, you can schedule the crystal bed sessions. The healing room is out here in the yurt. Extraordinary. Please talk to the people in the bookstore or the admins about having a session. Keep in mind, in this afternoon, we have our psychic fair. We have that once a month. It is the Sedona Psychic Fair. So by all means, you can schedule with the readers. We vet and screen the readers to the best, and they're just wonderful. They're all great souls, great insights they can offer you in various areas of your life. Next Sunday, is that next Sunday? Yeah? Next Sunday, I'm doing a workshop on the Aquarian Gospel, which is the only book that's ever woven the 4 Gospels plus the lost books of the Bible plus Akashic Records material into one cohesive book or whatever. Even if you can't attend, you can pick up here or order it. The Aquarian Gospel, it's extraordinary material. If I only had 3 books, it would be one of them. It's that beautiful. It's up there with the Christ consciousness vibes. It's so beautiful. So check that out. It was written around 1900, channeled from this guy. It's an extraordinary story, but check that out if you can. And last but not least, as some of you remember, in this spring, it was announced there's a final wave of light workers coming into the planet and awakening. They're here now, called The Daughters of Heaven. That's becoming a book that'll be out that I wrote in about 10 days, but also there's a conference. So join us in the conference if you can. The Daughters of Heaven, which could be you'll know, but the Daughters of Heaven are basically light workers that, I say it this way, light workers serve man to bring mankind home. The Daughters of Heaven serve God. It's a different vibe. They're still light workers, but there's a different vibe. There's a feeling, a holiness, a reverence to God. They're not just into anything like light workers might be, specializing in pyramids, UFOs, multidimensionality, and whatever else. The Daughters of Heaven just keep coming back to the holiness, God, coming right back to that, this reverence for the Divine Mother. They can maybe not realize that that's what they were doing all this time, but now they know why. For example, Helen Schuckman, who channeled A Course in Miracles, wouldn't have known why she was drawn to go to church, why she was drawn to Jesus, even though she was a psychiatrist, agnostic, and Jewish. For a Jewish psychiatrist, it was not good to hear voices of Jesus, of all people. But she knew her past lives, she was a daughter of heaven, and that she was here to serve God. And that's how the course came about. So join us for that conference. There's flyers, I think, in the foyer, and it's also on our website. And there's a website called thedaughtersofheaven.com. Such gratitude, such good vibes. What greatness we share with each other. And this greatness doesn't come from educated minds. It comes from the heart of God within us. It comes from the knowingness that we remain as God created us to be. Away from theory and philosophical babble into the knowingness. And that's why we have permission to laugh, because the knowingness is so beautiful, it tickles us and brings about playfulness. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we go, God is, I am, we are, and so it is. Peace be with all of you. Thank you.